After 10 years and two very brutal bear markets, I believe now is the time to take hold of your financial future and start educating yourself. Hi, I'm Joseph Gilbert, an institutional stockbroker with Newport Coast Securities in Irvine, California, and host of How to Invest in a New America, heard daily from 4 to 5 here on KSPA and KFST. Unprecedented volatility has paralyzed investors. In fact, there are millions of investors just sitting on the sidelines watching as literally a parade of financial opportunities pass them by. For 27 years, I've been actively trading and advising both institutional and individual investors to my techno-fundamental approach. If you're having a tough time with the stock market and you need a new trading partner with some fresh ideas to help get you back on track, then call me at 888-668-9562 or log on at howtoinvestinanewamerica.com. The number again is 888-668-9562 or howtoinvestinanewamerica.com. Call me and let me help you get back on track. Newport Coast Securities, member FINRA, SIPC.
This program does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Astor Broadcast Group, its employees, or sponsors.
The opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of the staff, management, or advertisers of this station, and any investment advice given is for educational purposes only and may not be suitable for all investors. Joey Gilbert is a registered representative with Newport Coast Securities, Inc., a broker-dealer and a member of FINRA SIPC. This document should not be regarded as an offer to sell or as a solicitation of an offer to buy any securities. Specific recommendations can only be made upon request of the client after a full review of their suitability has been conducted by the investment representative. Risk tolerance, ability to withstand loss, diversification, and level of understanding are important factors in determining appropriate investments. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results.
And now, Newport Coast Securities is proud to present How to Invest in a New America with your host, institutional equity strategist, Joe Gilbert.
All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to How to Invest in a New America. I'm your host, Joe Gilbert. I'm an institutional equity strategist with Newport Coast Securities in Irvine, California. Thanks for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly humbled by your presence. I mean that. All right, it's time to talk about high-performance techniques and strategies that my listeners can use to help get better at understanding the landscape of the battlefield we all know as the stock market. I want to start with this today. There's not much new in the market, all right? Despite what you may have heard or what you may believe, the same things have been happening for 100 years. Cup with handles have been forming out and working with regularity for more than a half a century. So there's really not that much new out there. The stock market doesn't care who we are, what we think, or how we feel. It's a beast like no other. It's indifferent to human desires, oblivious to common wisdom, maddeningly contrary, and seemingly bent on confounding the majority at every turn. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think it does a great job of doing just that. What do you think? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, the only law the stock market obeys is the law of supply and demand. And until we as investors can come to grips with this reality and learn to move with the market rather than against it, until we get this right, it's my opinion, we're doomed to nothing short of mediocre results. And I don't know about you, friends, but I hate mediocrity and everything it stands for. All right? I truly believe that through a very strict research routine and a rigorous, disciplined rule following, you can truly achieve superior results. And that's what we all want. We want to have big results in the market. All right, listen to your coach right now. If you have a portfolio of more than 10 stocks, all right, if you're holding 25 different names in your portfolio, how are you going to know everything you need to know about 25 different stocks? All right, if you're holding 25 different names, you're dooming yourself to having mediocre results at best, okay? Wide diversification protects you from nothing but superior performance. All right, in all of the seminars that I attended that William O'Neill taught, he would always say that diversification is really just a hedge against ignorance. And I believe that's true. The goal, your goal and mine, what you really want to do is make big money when you're right and lose the least amount possible in the many cases that you're wrong. Now, if you're listening to this show long enough, you'll hear me say this over and over again. Personal opinions and predictions, they're not worth anything. They're not worth anything in the market. And listen, by the way, that's how most people buy and sell stocks. They do it based on what somebody else thinks or some opinion that they've read. And I'm here to tell you, opinions are frequently wrong. Markets are always right. All right? Really, opinions are worthless if you think about it. They don't mean anything. And if you buy and sell stocks based on others' opinions, you're probably going to get yourself all fouled up, okay? Lack of discipline, lack of patience, and the lack of solid trading rules and a plan are the main reasons for failure. Now, Jesse Livermore was a great trader in the 20s. Now, listen to what he said back in 1923. Most losses in the market can be traced to the average speculator's persistent disregard of the lessons of the past. Now, 80 years later, here's what William O'Neill said. And he's talking about the cycle from 2000 to 2003 when the tech bubble popped and people got annihilated. Now, William O'Neill said the market cycle of 2000 to 2003 was much like all those that preceded it. The losses suffered may have been extraordinary, but the mistakes that led to them were not. They're the same mistakes investors make in every market cycle. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is, in my humble opinion, ladies and gentlemen, there's just not that much new in the market. The same chart patterns have occurred with regularity throughout the past 100 years. And the reasons are human nature doesn't change. And neither does the law of supply and demand, okay? I hope I'm making sense. I'm trying really hard to make this show different from everything else you hear on radio and TV. My goal is to help educate you with professional, detailed information that you can use to help yourself in the stock market. I've been at this battle for investment survival for 27 years, and I can tell you from personal experience, it's never easy to make money in the market. You simply must have a strong discipline, and it needs to be routine, okay? Every day and on weekends, you need to be looking at the market and studying charts, and always have a well-researched list of ideas, both buy and sell ideas. I've been doing this daily routine of disciplined research every day for 27 years, so that I'm always armed and ready for action. All right, so the best way to judge the general market, and we've been talking about this I talked about it a lot yesterday about follow-through days and distribution and stalling action, but the best way to judge the market is to watch the market itself. Watch the price and volume changes on the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P 500. That's the best way to judge. And the second best way is, how are the leading stocks acting? Now, based on the general market averages and based on the leading stocks, we're in an uptrend right now. It's a bull market. I've been hammering you for the past few days about having a proven, reliable method for staying in phase with the market. I believe that's absolutely critical. When things aren't acting right, you want to start backing away. But that's not what's happening right now. When things are doing well, you want to be in there. Now, I've talked about maybe 8 or 9 stocks on the show over the last few weeks that have had all the blueprint, had the earnings and the sales and all the CANSLIM characteristics. Did any of my listeners go do their homework and buy any of these stocks? All right, we've got a caller on the line. Let's see. It's Lynn. Lynn, welcome to the program.
Yes. Hi, Joey. I always enjoy listening to your shows.
Oh, thank you. So
You know,
how's your day going, Lynn?
I did buy a few stocks that you had mentioned, and DDD has done very well for me. And I just, I have had so many problems over the past 3 years trying to make money in this market. And I've tried everything and spent many hours a week trying to learn options, trying to learn different methods, read newsletters. Nothing's worked. And when I heard your show over 2 years ago, I connected with you because it made sense, but I guess I just wasn't ready to try CANSLIM. And, in the last couple of months, I picked up the book because nothing was working. I wasn't making money, and called you up and told you I was ready to start doing CANSLIM, as you remember. And since then, I've had incredible results.
Oh, that's really good to hear, Lynn. I know I've been talking to you for a long time. It took you a long time. I'm sure you had some poor results with some brokers in the past, and I know it took you a long time to get to, but at least now you've got the book and you're trying the system, and I know you had a great day today, huh?
I had a great day today and yesterday and last week as well. And, a lot of that, Joey, is attributed to you and your coaching and your time that you've given me because, I've had many brokers, and it's just place your order, get off the phone. Maybe, hi, how you doing occasionally. That's about it. But you give so much of your time and your coaching, and that has just made an incredible difference for me.
Gentlemen, Lynn has been a client of mine for about 2 weeks. We've been talking for a long time, and she's a real hard studier. She puts in the time, and she's had a million questions, and I just kept faithfully answering her questions and kept trying to nudge her away from the things she was doing and get the book. And she's finally doing that, and she called me this morning, and she felt so good. It's finally good to be making money. And I know the feeling when you get beat up year after year and you're putting all the work in and you get frustrated. But this system works, and you're now getting a little taste of it. And I'm so happy that it's working for you because I know you put a lot of time in. So I'm really glad.
I put a lot of time in the last 3 years, and I'm incredibly excited about it and appreciate so much the time you give, Joey. You're not like any, broker. Believe me. It's just made a huge difference.
I appreciate that. You're right about that. I am not just like any other broker, but I really appreciate you saying that, Lynn. And I'm glad you're doing well. It's about time, man. Hopefully the next few years you can kill them, because I really believe we're going to have a good market for quite a long time to come. And if you're doing the homework like I know you do, this is what happens when you do the work and you put the time in and you're waiting and you're buying them right at the pivot points like you've been doing. That's how you do it. And anybody can do it.
Worked for me, and I appreciate so much your help and you.
Well, I appreciate that, Lynn. Thanks a lot. I know you're busy. I really appreciate the call, but I just want the listeners to know that if you're new to this, Lynn's been talking to me for 2 years before she opened an account. And my time is available for all my clients 24/7. If you have any questions, you're reading this book, you're trying to use the system, use me as your coach, okay? No strings attached. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm trying to help you, okay? So if you need some help, give me a call. My office line is 888-668-9562. Well, Lynn, hey, thanks for calling. I really appreciate it. I want the listeners to know that, they're just like you are. They're trying really hard, and they're looking at this system and that system. There's so much misguidance out there, and people like to just think that they know everything, and they want to tell you they're right all the time, but they don't want to teach you anything. They just want to tell you their opinions about stuff. Well, that's not what this show's about.
That's exactly right. And, Joey, I really appreciate all the time, and I look forward to working with you for many, many years to come.
Awesome. All right, Lynn, have a great day. Thanks for calling.
Joey, bye-bye.
All right. Yep. All right, so lines are open. If you have a question, you want to talk about CANSLIM or the general market or any in particular stocks, Michael Kors maybe, the number to call, 866-584-3434. Again, if you have a question, don't be afraid. This is a call-in talk show. My number is 866-584-3434. Like I said, I've been in this battle for 27 years, and it's not easy to make money in the market. You have to have a disciplined routine of studying charts. Now, I've been doing this same routine every night, and on weekends, you need to study charts as well. But I've been doing this for 27 years, and I'm always armed and ready for action. All right, so the best way to judge a general market is to watch the market itself. Second best way is how are the leading stocks acting. And right now, based on the general market and the leading stocks, it's a bull market. It's a bull market, all right? So Let's take a quick break. You're listening to How to Invest in a New America. We'll be right back on 1510 AM KSPA and AM 1450 KFSD. Financial News and Talk. Be right back. Investors, do you know what a successful stock looks like before it takes off in price? Studying models of past big winners can give you a much clearer picture of what you're looking for in future potential big winners. Hi, I'm Joe Gilbert, a stockbroker with Newport Coast Securities in Irvine, California. How are you going to know if a stock you're considering to buy right now could be a future big winner if you don't know what these great winners of the past look like? Make sense? Call me at 888-668-9562 for a free copy of my model book I call Profiles of a New America. If you're unhappy with your broker and you want to work with a new broker who has 27 years of battlefield experience, as well as some fresh ideas to help get you back on track, then call me at 888-668-9562 or log on at howtoinvestinanewamerica.com. If what you're doing isn't working, then try my fresh ideas and a great new system. And don't forget to tune in every day for How to Invest in a New America from 4 to 5, right here on 1510 AM, Financial News and Talk. Newport Coast Securities, member FINRA, SIPC.
This is Financial News and Talk.
Markets, business, and the latest information. On Bloomberg, there's absolutely no alternative.
AM 1450, AM 1510.
Investors, do you know what a successful stock looks like before it has a dramatic rise in price? Knowing what to look for can definitely give you an edge. Hi, I'm Joe Gilbert, an independent institutional stockbroker with Newport Coast Securities and host of How to Invest in a New America. For more than a quarter of a century, I've focused on a strict discipline of looking through thousands of stock charts every weekend, looking for timely ideas for my clients. If you believe in the importance of a disciplined approach that combines fresh new idea generation, managed with passion and focus, then call me at 888-668-9562 and experience the difference for yourself. Again, if you're looking for a new broker who can help you navigate the ups and downs of the market and you want experience, discipline, passion, and focus, then I'm your man. Call me at 888-668-9562 and find out what my 27 years of battlefield experience can do for you. My direct helpline is 888-668-9562. I'm Joe Gilbert, a licensed representative with Newport Coast Securities, encouraging you to get educated and go for it. Securities offered through Newport Coast Securities, member FINRA, SIPC. All right, I'm back with you again. If you're just tuning in, this is How to Invest in a New America. I'm your host, Joseph Gilbert. I'm an institutional stockbroker at Newport Coast Securities in Irvine, California. Now, the lines are open if you have a question, 866-584-3434. I've been hammering you guys for the past few days about having a proven, reliable method for staying in phase with the market. I believe it's absolutely critical so that when things are acting well and the market's strong, you're in there. Now, I've covered follow-through days and stalling action and distribution days. I'm going to go over this again. I know it's a little bit complicated, but I want all my listeners to learn this method. Now, follow-through day is the signal in the CANSLIM system that tells us the market has changed directions and you're coming out of a corrective phase, and you get this follow-through day, and it's the signal that tells you the market's now back in an uptrend. Now, according to the book How to Make Money in Stocks by William O'Neill, you don't want to buy back into the market until this follow-through day occurs. Now, the follow-through by definition is a 1.5% gain or more on the 4th through the 10th day of a rally attempt. And the gain must come on volume that's bigger than the previous day. So you're coming down in the market, and then all of a sudden it has an up day. You know, you're following the market, it's down, down, down. All of a sudden it turns up one day. That would be the first day of a rally, and you start counting. And as long as that first day's low is not taken out, you would continue to count. Day 2, day 3. And now what you're looking for is on the 4th through the 10th day for the market to come on with power and strength, with a gain of 1.5% or more on an increase in volume from the day before. I know that might seem complicated at first, friends, but the system works. And remember, the market is always right. So I have a rule. All right, you must buy something on a follow-through day, all right, because the market's telling you I'm now back in an uptrend. That's the time you want to be buying something. You go look you want to be really anticipating it, but you want to be buying the stocks that are breaking out of bases that have all the CANSLIM characteristics on the follow-through day. It's really important because it's far worse to miss the big opportunity than to buy into a failed rally attempt. I mean, you can always scale back if the rally doesn't materialize, but if you wait on a follow-through day and do nothing, then you run the chance of missing that big leader. All right, now how many of my listeners have Celgene or Regeneron or like Lynn, the caller, had 3D Systems, Stratasys, X1, Microcores or Protolabs. Now these are all stocks that I talked about 3 weeks ago when I first, this is my 4th week, so I was in the 2nd week and I mentioned these stocks, not Regeneron, but 3D and Stratasys and Protolabs. I mentioned I think 5 or 6 of them, and they're all working well, but I bet many of you have never even heard of these names. They're new names. They're part of the new America. So you got to be in there on the follow-through days buying stock. Everybody with me on that? The market is saying I'm now in an uptrend, and I don't care what you think, Joe, or what anyone else says. I've learned to listen to the message of the market. It's the most important thing. And remember, the M in CANSLIM trumps everything else. So you got to have rules to protect yourself with, and it's your job and mine to listen to the market and learn to move with it. All right? So you never want to try to predict what the market will do, but rather learn to interpret what it's doing as it's doing it. Make sense? I sure hope so. The lines are open. The number to call is 866-584-3434. Now, if you want to talk about this, if you have a general market question, or if you want my professional opinion on a stock, you can call in at 866-584-3434. But what I really want my listeners to focus in on this one fact, and that is that every year there'll be new big winners in the stock market. That's for sure. Every year, new big winners. The main question you should ask yourself is, will you see it? Be prepared for it? And most importantly, will you know how to fully capitalize on it for your own account? All right, it's a great time to get yourself educated and armed and ready, so then when that next big leader presents itself, you won't miss it. All right? If you missed Regeneron or Celgene, don't worry. Just go back and study the chart and make a copy of it. Put it on the wall. So if that pattern ever forms up again, you won't miss it. All right? Now, I still want to talk about some names. I really like Microcores right now. I think it's in a buying area. Also, Stratasys, which is a 3D printing company, just came out of a base, and it's within 5% of its pivot point. So get educated so you'll be ready to buy when the very best stocks show up. And if you like what you hear on the show and you want a new broker, you can call my office at 888-668-9562, and you can get your new account established so that when things set up perfectly, we'll be able to put you in front of the next round of market winners, okay? Listeners, you hear me say this a lot, but for the sake of repetition, I'm going to repeat it, all right? It's always the companies with the best new products and services that serve a wide audience of people that are always the top stock market winners. Those companies that change the way we live, work, and play. In other words, you got to ask yourself, what do they got that's new and far better? All right, now, if you don't believe me, Apple Computer is a perfect example. Look at their products. Most of their new products are cutting edge, and they're selling like crazy. Or look at Netflix. Most of all the biggest winners in the past have the N in CANSLIM, which is some new product or service that's selling like crazy, driving their sales. And that's why the earnings are taking off. So remember, new issues are definitely something to pay attention to. You can go to investors.com. That's the website for Investors Business Daily, investors.com, and check out this video. It's called The Stock Market's Next Move. Do yourself a favor, listeners. If you get anything from me today in this show, is go to the website investors.com and watch this video called The Stock Market's Next Move. All right, that's on investors.com. It was the largest financial webinar in history. It was from last July, but it's William O'Neill, It's about an hour long, and he's talking about, where he thinks the next move in the market's going to come from. But it's very, very educational. And I've watched it 6 times in the last week. I can't get enough of it. So I strongly recommend you, if you're trying to learn, go to the website investors.com and check under the IBD TV. It'll be on the front page there under webinars, and you'll see one called The Stock Market's Next Move. All right, there were 12,000 people that attended it, and it's archived on investors.com. And I believe it's a must. All right, if you're trying to improve, all right, if you can't find it, you call me and I'll email you the link to it. You can go to my website at howtoinvestinanewamerica.com, or you can email me at jgilbert@ncsecurities.com, and I'll send you the link. But if you're interested in improvement, seriously, I can't make this point strong enough. Go watch that video on investors.com called The Stock Market's Next Move. Right? If you're really trying to improve yourself, go watch the video. Trust your coach on this. Investors.com, the video is called The Stock Market's Next Move. All right, now if you're not happy with your current stockbroker or advisor and you're looking for a new broker with some fresh thinking and new ideas, you can call me at 888-668-9562. Again, call me directly, 888-668-9562. I've got a free model book I'll send you. It's called Profiles of a New America. It's nothing special, but it's a model book that has pictures of what some huge winners look like, and it'll help you to get a much clearer picture in your own mind of what a big winner looks like before it takes off. They all form 9 basic chart patterns, but this resource I'm offering you called Profiles of a New America, it's free. There's no strings attached. You can call my office, 888-668-9562. Also, every Saturday morning from 9 till noon in my office in Irvine, free seminars. We'll be going over this material. It's going to be repetitive, but, repetition's the mother of skill. So if you want to get better, whether you're a seasoned pro or just beginning out, I can promise you a rich learning experience. All right, you can sign up at my website on howtoinvestinanewamerica.com, or you can call the office, 888-668-9562. Now, how many of my listeners have ever heard of the CANSLIM method? All right, this is all spelled out. It's the CANSLIM method. It's William O'Neill's book called How to Make Money in Stocks, a winning system in good times or bad. Now, if you're having problems in the market, if you're not making big money in the market, or you never had it and you've never had success, go get the book, How to Make Money in Stocks by William O'Neill. Everything that I'm talking about on the show is going to be based on that book. That's the system that I follow. I've been using it for 26 years. I highly recommend all my listeners get that book, How to Make Money in Stocks by William O'Neill. But the reason CANSLIM works cycle after cycle is because it's not some ivory tower academic method. You won't learn this in any college textbook, but it's based on the actual biggest winners of the past 100 years. And it's not theory-based, it's reality-based. What William O'Neill did was he built models of all the biggest winners over the past 100 years, and then he studied them to find out what were the common characteristics that all these great winners had in common. What do the charts look like before they took off? He analyzed every possible detail you could think of, including what were the characteristics of the stock as it started to top out and was ready to decline substantially. So it's not his theory of how things work. You follow me? It's not a theory, but it's actual, and it's based on history and historical precedent. And all the rules around CANSLIM that are in this book were formed with the data from studying all the past big winners. It's exciting stuff, listeners. Go get the book, How to Make Money in Stocks. All right, the rules were developed from the actual, so the system is based on how the market works. I hope I'm making sense, and I know what I'm telling you is different from all the other talk shows you hear on TV and radio. I don't do interviews with supposedly smart people. I'm trying to teach you something that can change your whole life. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on How to Invest in a New America. I'm Joe Gilbert. We'll be right back on 1510 AM KSPA and AM 1450 KFSD, Financial News and Talk. Investors, do you know what a successful stock looks like before it has a dramatic rise in price? Knowing what to look for can definitely give you an edge. Hi, I'm Joe Gilbert, an independent institutional stockbroker with Newport Coast Securities and host of How to Invest in a New America. For more than a quarter of a century, I've focused on a strict discipline of looking through thousands of stock charts every weekend, looking for timely ideas for my clients. If you believe in the importance of a disciplined approach that combines fresh new idea generation, managed with passion and focus, then call me at 888-668-9562 and experience the difference for yourself. Again, if you're looking for a new broker who can help you navigate the ups and downs of the market and you want experience, discipline, passion, and focus, then I'm your man. Call me at 888-668-9562 and find out what my 27 years of battlefield experience can do for you. My direct helpline is 888-668-9562. I'm Joe Gilbert, a licensed representative with Newport Coast Securities, encouraging you to get educated and go for it. Securities offered through Newport Coast Securities, member FINRA, SIPC.
This is Financial News and Talk.
Markets, business, and the latest information. On Bloomberg, there's absolutely no alternative.
AM 1450, AM 1510.
Investors, do you know what a successful stock looks like before it takes off in price? Studying models of past big winners can give you a much clearer picture of what you're looking for in future potential big winners. Hi, I'm Joe Gilbert, a stockbroker with Newport Coast Securities in Irvine, California. How are you going to know if a stock you're considering to buy right now could be a future big winner if you don't know what these great winners of the past look like? Make sense? Call me at 888-668-9562 for a free copy of my model book I call Profiles of a New America. If you're unhappy with your broker and you want to work with a new broker who has 27 years of battlefield experience as well as some fresh ideas to help get you back on track, then call me at 888-668-9562 or log on at howtoinvestinanewamerica.com. If what you're doing isn't working, then try my fresh ideas and a great new system. And don't forget to tune in every day for How to Invest in a New America from 4 to 5, right here on 1510 AM, Financial News and Talk. Newport Coast Securities, member FINRA, SIPC. Gilbert. I'm an institutional stockbroker with Newport Coast Securities in Irvine, California. And I've been advising and trading with both institutional and individual investors for 27 years now. And what I want is all my listeners to become an informed and educated investor, more knowledgeable and more confident. Now, this is so important. I want you to be armed and ready to kill when the next big leader shows up. I want all my listeners to be that kind of investor. The way I look at it is we're all students of the stock market. And I don't know about you, but I'm completely sick and tired of paying tuitions to the University of Wall Street. Anybody with me on that? Anybody else tired of losing money in the market? Are you getting knocked around in this market? Don't you just love it when a stock shakes you out? It's so painful. Seriously. Personally, I can't stand when that happens. But listeners, getting shaken out of a stock is not a mistake. All right? The big mistake is not buying it back 3 days later when it's perfect again. That's the big mistake. And I try really hard to stay in phase with the general market, and I believe in timing. Don't believe that when people tell you you can't time the market. That's absolutely a fallacy. All right? It takes time to acquire the knowledge, and it takes time to get all the rules down, and it takes courage and extra detailed effort. But you can do it, all right? There's an entire chapter in the book How to Make Money in Stocks by William O'Neill on how to determine the direction of the general market. So that way you can be in the market when it's going up and out of the market when it starts giving you the signals to sell. Now listen, the last 12 years that we've all lived through in the market is one of the fourth worst periods in history. It's been horrible. Since 2000 March, the market's been terrible. But I really believe now's the time to start getting educated so that you can be armed and ready when the next upcycle's big winners emerge. Because every year, Every year there'll be new big winners, and they'll merge out of nowhere, come out of perfect bases, like I keep talking about, and they'll make huge runs. The only question you need to ask yourself is, will you see them, be prepared for them, and know how to fully capitalize? Now, if you're just tuning in, this is How to Invest in a New America. The lines are open. If you have a question, the number to call is 866-584-3434. Now, you know, if we look at what has occurred the last 10 years, when you study it, the market's been an unmitigated disaster from 2000 to 2009. Like I said, it was one of the fourth worst periods in history. But, you know, having gone through that, there was still a lot of money that was made. I mean, Apple came out of a perfect cup and handle at $25 a share, well, $12 pre-split, and made a giant move. And Google went up 5 times, and Netflix, and the list goes on and on. The real key point that I want to make to you is that as bad as that period in history has been, you know, history's proven over and over again that there's not much new in the market. Don't believe those who tell you it's a brave new world. I'm here to tell you there's not much new in the market. Now, when you study the history, it strikes me that the behavior is repeated with regularity. You can go back 100 years. The bull markets averaged 3 3/4 years, and the bears lasted on average 9 months. And guess what? Every single time, the market ultimately recovered and made new highs. Now, we're at a 33 or 3,400 NASDAQ. The old high's at 5,000. I think in the next 5 or 10 years, you're going to see that this market's going to have a really good period in time. You know, it's been difficult the last 12 years, but now's the time to get yourself educated. Go get William O'Neill's book, How to Make Money in Stocks. If you have any questions, you can call me here on the air at 866-584-3434. Now, listeners, if you don't have a sound strategy and a set of buy and sell rules, you're going to eventually go through a rough patch like the last 12 or 13 years and get chopped up into little bitty bits. Now, I learned very early in my career to operate with a system and rules. But the reality of the stock market has dished out over the last 10 years has rendered a lot of investors paralyzed. If that's you and you're not even opening your statements, call me. I want to help you, okay? My office number is 888-668-9562. Okay, we got Bill on the line. Bill, welcome to the show.
Hey, Joey. Hey, Joey, how you doing?
Tremendous. How's it going, brother?
Great. Hey, I just want to tell the listeners, I've been a client of Joey's. What's it been? It's a little over 2 years now, right?
Yes, sir. A very good client, I may add.
You know, I first heard you up here in Seattle on a similar station, and talking about CANSLIM. And, you know, I was really intrigued by the whole system. It's something I had heard the word before. I didn't really know what it was about. And, you know, I listened for a few weeks, and I checked out some charts, and finally, you know, went and got the book, which is, you know, daunting because it's thick, but most of it's charts, and they're historical, which I kind of like. I like looking at those old charts from the 20s and 30s and turn of the century. And
yeah,
like O'Neill says, you get these patterns that repeat themselves year after year, decade after decade. So that very much intrigued me. And it's
now, what's been your experience with me, Bill? I mean, how you doing in the market?
Done excellent. And it's very, we've had some great gains. I don't know, I haven't really figured out where my account is. We're sitting probably close to 40% gain, I imagine. And, you know, I just want to say that we talk every day almost, sometimes several times a day, running ideas past each other. You've truly been a coach, and, you know, you advertise that, and we go, and I suggest stocks, and you'll say, let me look at the chart, and you'll say, hey, man, that does look like a winner. It looks like you really picked a good one there. Or you'll say, you know, I don't see the volume. It's, you know, we aren't looking too good there. And it's been a real great experience. And you know that I have an account with another, you know, big box brokerage firm, and they do okay. They get you an okay return, but they aren't very personable. And I only meet with them maybe once a year, once every 6 months. Whereas you and I were like talking all the time, and I had some kind of rough times there in the 90s. I made a lot of money, and like you say, there's two sides of the equation. Making money is only half of it. Keeping it's the other half.
Right,
so,
you got to have sell rules, right?
Yeah, you got to know when to sell. You got to know when to take your gains. And I like it the fact that we talk and I say, you know what, I think I'm going to take some money off the table, and you'll go, absolutely, let me get a check out in the mail, and overnight,
right.
Whatever I want, there it is.
Yeah, I believe in when you're making money in the market, you should take some of it out for sure, and definitely use it. I mean, you want to feel the benefits of your labor,
Yeah, and so what do you think about, I know we've talked a little bit about it, but we have some of these stocks that are fairly new, like Tesla. What's your opinion on Tesla right now?
It's been a rocket. Well, what you have to wait for at this point is a new base to form out. I mean, it came bolting out of a base, and it's almost doubled, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you got to wait for it to go sideways for 6 or 8 weeks and give you a new buy point. And if it still looks good at that time, you want to try to buy it exactly at the point when it's coming out of the base. But for now, you got to leave it alone. It's way up in the stratosphere, and just keep it on your watch list.
Right, and I noticed it did go down a little bit today. So if we get another couple days where it's moving sideways or going down, and
now if you bought it, okay, if you bought the stock and you're in it and it's way up there, you got to give it plenty of room. Let it build a whole new base before you add to it. But if you hold it and it builds a whole new base, now when it's coming out of that base, you could double up your whole position. And really, if you think about it, they can only get you for 4 or 5% of your new position, because if it doesn't work, you're going to quickly sell that. But now if it does work, you have more money in a stock that's one of your bigger winners. So you're always trying to force feed your best stocks. You follow me?
Right. Yeah, and
Bill, I
this is what I'm
appreciate the call.
talking about.
I really do.
It's one of these things where when you follow the rules, you end up a winner. If you don't have rules that you follow, you're really playing with dynamite.
Right. The market will humble you quick, right?
It'll eat you alive. Which would happen to me,
thanks for the call.
90s,
I really appreciate you being on the
wrong. I thought I was the golden boy because I made so much money, and then when the market started going down, I kept telling myself it'll go back up, just like so many people did. And we're going to get a correction here. We don't know when. It's all looking pretty good right now, but when that time comes, boy, you better be ready. And I'm telling you, Joey's the guy that will keep a watch on all those market conditions for you and help you through the rough times.
I appreciate your vote of confidence there. You're a good guy, and I just want all the listeners to know that if you do need some help, I'm here and I'm available 24/7. You can call me. My number's 888-668-9562. Thanks for calling me, Bill.
We'll catch you later.
All right, take care.
Okay.
All right, so, the last 10, 12 years have been gut-wrenching, and if you don't know how to protect yourself, they can be absolutely devastating to live through. But what the crashes and the sharp declines, or any bear market for that matter, should instill and reinforce in all of us is the absolute required discipline of following a system of rules that you will not break. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, more learning with how to invest in a new America on AM 1510 KSPA and AM 1450 KFSD, Financial News and Talk. Be right back. Investors, do you know what a successful stock looks like before it takes off in price? Studying models of past big winners can give you a much clearer picture of what you're looking for in future potential big winners. Hi, I'm Joe Gilbert, a stockbroker with Newport Coast Securities in Irvine, California. How are you going to know if a stock you're considering to buy right now could be a future big winner if you don't know what these great winners of the past look like? Make sense? Call me at 888-668-9562 for a free copy of my model book I call Profiles of a New America. If you're unhappy with your broker and you want to work with a new broker who has 27 years of battlefield experience, as well as some fresh ideas to help get you back on track, then call me at 888-668-9562. 888-668-9562 or log on at howtoinvestinanewamerica.com. If what you're doing isn't working, then try my fresh ideas and a great new system. And don't forget to tune in every day for How to Invest in a New America from 4 to 5, right here on 1510 AM, Financial News and Talk. Newport Coast Securities, member FINRA, SIPC.
This is Financial News and Talk.
Markets, business, and the latest information on Bloomberg. There's absolutely no alternative.
AM 1450, AM 1510.
Investors, do you know what a successful stock looks like before it has a dramatic rise in price? Knowing what to look for can definitely give you an edge. Hi, I'm Joe Gilbert, an independent institutional stockbroker with Newport Coast Securities and host of How to Invest in a New America. For more than a quarter of a century, I've focused on a strict discipline of looking through thousands of stock charts every weekend, looking for timely ideas for my clients. If you believe in the importance of a disciplined approach that combines fresh new idea generation, managed with passion and focus, then call me at 888-668-9562 and experience the difference for yourself. Again, if you're looking for a new broker who can help you navigate the ups and downs of the market and you want experience, discipline, passion, and focus, then I'm your man. Call me at 888-668-9562 and find out what my 27 years of battlefield experience can do for you. My direct helpline is 888-668-9562. I'm Joe Gilbert, a licensed representative with Newport Coast Securities, encouraging you to get educated and go for it. Securities offered through Newport Coast Securities, member FINRA, SIPC. All right, back again. You're listening to How to Invest in a New America. This is Southern California's newest innovation in talk radio education. I'm your host, Joe Gilbert. I'm an institutional equity strategist. For 27 years now, I've been trading for and advising both institutional and individual investors to my techno-fundamental approach. Now, the market was up again today. The Dow was up 123 points. The S&P closed up 16.5 points. And the NASDAQ was up 23 points, or 0.69%. But the S&P was up 1%. So it was a good day for the new America. I'm going to cover some stocks. Coors was up 36 cents. Stratasys was up $4.93. Now, that's still in a buying area, symbol SSYS. 3D Systems up $1.70. Now, 3D's gone from 35 to 50 since I told you to take a peek at it a couple of weeks ago. I talked about Celgene last Thursday when it was at 122. Today it closed at 130, up 51 cents. Protolabs was up again today at 56.80. PRLB is the symbol on that. That was in the 46s when I first mentioned it to you a couple of weeks ago. Now let's talk about mistakes for a minute, all right? We all make them. You know, when I started investing back in January 87, I used to make mistakes all the time. A lot of mistakes. Actually, I still make mistakes, but just not as many as I used to. But we all make mistakes, friends. That's just the way it is. But I believe in having a set of rules to operate with. And here's something that you might help you to do better. And I've learned to buy stocks when they're on the way up in price and not on the way down. And I only add to a position when it's up in price from where I bought it, not after it drops. And I never want to average down, only average up. Right? This is a big no-no, according to CANSLIM. You don't want to average down. Right? You want to buy stocks when they're nearer to their highs for the year, not when they're sinking low and look cheap to the majority. And only stick with higher-priced, better quality stocks. All right? No junk pile names, no cheap penny stocks. All right? Now, here's another thing you need to understand. You need to learn to always sell stocks quickly when you have a small 7 or 8% loss, rather than waiting and hoping they'll come back. And this is critical in my view. What you're doing is taking little insurance policies out against the possibility of taking a devastating loss. You're really just taking out little insurance policies that'll protect your account from a big whopping 40 or 50% or even 100% loss. Everybody with me on this? And believe me, in the market, it's not hard for that to happen. Trust your coach on that. You can easily get your head handed to you if you don't follow this rule and keep the losses small, the maximum you should take on a loss when you're risking your hard-earned money is 7 or 8%. So if it drops below what you paid by 7 or 8%, out you go at the market. Never arguing, all right? Now, all the things I've been talking to you about here on the show revolve around the CANSLIM method. If you're having a rough time in the market and you want to improve your own battlefield experience, go get the book, How to Make Money in Stocks, A Winning System in Good Times or Bad by William O'Neill. Also, if you have time, ladies and gentlemen, go to the website investors.com and look under the archived webinars. There's one from last July called The Stock Market's Next Move. It's a definite must. If you have the time, go watch that video. If you can't find it, call me, 888-668-9562. You can email me at jgilbert@NC, that stands for Newport Coast, ncsecurities.com, or you can go on my website at howtoinvestinanewamerica.com. And if you can't find that link, you let me know and I'll make sure you get it. All right, now, I've probably read this book at least 30 or 40 times over the past 27 years. I refer back to it constantly. During the 90s, I went to over 25 O'Neill seminars. And O'Neill used to ask the audience, how many of you have been here before? And a lot of hands would go up, and then he'd say, how many of you have been here twice? And a few hands would drop, and how many of you have been here 3 times? And a few more hands would go down. Then when there was nobody left but me, he'd always make the joke, well, it takes some people a lot longer to learn than others, and everybody would laugh. And at first it was embarrassing, but after a while I got used to it. I knew he was just kidding, and of course I didn't care. I was relentless when it came to learning about CANSLIM. I don't know about you listeners, but I think I still am. What do you think? Can you tell I have a strong belief in this method? And the reason I kept going back was I was there to learn, and I believed in repetition. All right. Anyways, the point is this. Go get the book, read it. If you have any questions, you can call me live here on the show or just contact me in the office. I'm always available. I'm here to help you accelerate your learning curve. All right. Now, I mentioned you always want to buy on the way up. We're coming out to the end of the show. I do want to mention I am having a seminar every Saturday in my office. It's a 3-hour seminar. We'll go over how to interpret stock charts, how to read the general market. You know, what does a stock look like when it's a buy? What are the signs that it's giving off when it's looking like a sell? I'll take you through all of it in about 2 or 3 hours. But, you know, you got to sign at the website at howtoinvestinanewamerica.com or call me in the office, 888-668-9562. If you need a new broker, if you want some fresh ideas and fresh thinking, you want to get yourself back on the right track, maybe you're having a tough time going it alone in the battlefield, call me at 888-668-9562. All right, that's all I have for tonight. I believe the best investor is an informed and educated investor. So stick with me every day on how to invest in a new America. We'll see you tomorrow right here on the radio. After 10 years and 2 very brutal bear markets, I believe now is the time to take hold of your financial future and start educating yourself. Hi, I'm Joseph Gilbert, an institutional stockbroker with Newport Coast Securities in Irvine, California, and host of How to Invest in a New America, heard daily from 4 to 5 here on KSPA and KFSD. Unprecedented volatility has paralyzed investors. In fact, there are millions of investors just sitting on the sidelines watching as literally a parade of financial opportunities pass them by. For 27 years, I've been actively trading and advising both institutional and individual investors to my techno-fundamental approach. If you're having a tough time with the stock market and you need a new trading partner with some fresh ideas to help get you back on track, then call me at 888-668-9562 or log on at howtoinvestinanewamerica.com. The number again is 888-668-9562 or howtoinvestinanewamerica.com. Call me and let me help you get back on track. Newport Coast Securities, member FINRA, SIPC.
Financial News and Talk, AM 1450 KFSD Escondido, AM 1510 KSPA Ontario, Astor Broadcast Group stations.